Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? Good old match light. That's getting going. I'm gonna go grab some more wood. I'm gonna try to burn as much of this bark as I can so that I can get rid of it. Let's see what happens. Oh, woo. Welcome back to the journey, friends. Oh, crazy chickens. They go all over the place, I tell you. But I am glad that we were able to get the door over onto the chicken coop done, especially now, you know, with it getting cold, to be able to stop a lot of the drafts from going in there from the cold. We still got a lot of work that we're going to be doing to that thing. If you missed out on those videos, we definitely ask y'all to go check that out. I can always put that up here in the corner, and go check it out whenever you get a chance. Or if you want to go now, come back and you can watch this one after that one. Either way, it don't matter. But I need to get over here, probably try to get a fire going. That way I can get some warmth over here as I work. Because it's really not going to get that warm today. So we'll see what happens. And then who knows, maybe I can get the rest of this log skinned out. But I know once I get to working, it'll warm up. So let me get y'all set up, and then we'll see what we can do. Not looking forward to it. Okay, so I'll continue to tend to this. That way I have a place to come and warm my hands as I get to work. So I got plenty of this bark, plenty more over there that I can always grab too. And then some of this isn't really seasoned too well, but it'll still burn. I think that's about it. I mean, there's still some of the underlying, wood that I would like to get off, but I'll let it age. It'll come off eventually. But yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get this log flipped over, because right now how it sits is actually, this will be the top, but I need access to the bottom. So I'm still trying to determine exactly how I want to put this together. I guess I probably could talk to you without cutting my head off, so I like doing that. So like I said, I'm not 100% certain, because I would like to be able to do more of a traditional, timber frame type, which is round log timber framing. Trying to do some of the actual traditional joinery. I don't have all the tools for that. So either one, I need to be able to set money aside to buy those tools, or two, I need to get my blacksmith shop back up and running and start making those tools. Because that's actually what I like to do. I actually like to make the timber framing type tools. The adze, the axes, the chisels, the slicks. That's my passion. Those are the things that I like to make. Am I good at it? Not 100%, but I'm getting there, right? I still consider myself to be an intermediate blacksmith. Between novice and intermediate, I'm still learning, right? But those are the tools that I actually like to make. So it kind of makes it a little funner, a little gooder, right? To be in the shop whenever you're doing things that you love. So, but with this, I think I'm actually going to do kind of a cross between, some of the traditional type joinery, and then just more of like a post and beam, right? Where a post and beam, basically, it doesn't have the joints that like go together. They're more just, flat faces together, and then you're bolting them together, using, actual mechanical fasteners. So I think this is going to be kind of a cross between that, to where I do want to have, some type of, mortise and tenon type stuff, but then for like the wind braces or cross braces, whatever you want to call them, right? But those would be more of like a post and beam, because I would just be having them joined to the structure with mechanical fasteners. So we haven't gotten to that point yet, so I'm just putting a little bit of a bean spillage, right? A little bit of a sneak peek of what's to come. But right now, this log is done. I actually still have some of these pine logs that I need to get debarked as well. They've just been sitting on the ground. I do need to get them up and off the ground, debarked and up and off the ground. I continue getting this stuff cleaned up, but I do need to make a few more sawhorses. I'm probably going to do that off camera, and then, well, get to marking this thing up. So actually, let's take a quick break from the project to go check out today's sponsor, a product review. Be right back. All right, so for today's sponsor, we have X-pest. So this is the X-pest Ultrasonic mouse repellent. So this is actually a mouse and rat repellent. It uses ultra high frequencies for doing that. This is an indoor unit only. They do have outdoor units. All the links and stuff like that we have for this will be down in the description. Definitely go check it out. So I'm actually opening this box for the first time here with y'all, so you guys get a chance to see everything that it comes with and what it does. So just a little bit of unboxing along with, the product of what it looks like. We're gonna give it a go and check that out. So comes with a little white box, mystery box. I always love the mystery boxes. That's nice. So let me throw that in my pocket for now, and then we'll get rid of this box. Comes with a little instruction book thing, the warranty card, all that good stuff, right? The little user manual, right? So I'll throw that off to the side. Well, I'm a guy, I don't read instructions, right? So here's the actual unit. Take it out of the bag. Looks pretty nifty, neato. right? And then up here at the top it has trans ultra lights. So I'll look to see what all that is here in a little bit. And then here in the back, got to take off my these glasses so I can see far. I can't see up close when I'm wearing my glasses. So it has it has a test ultra trans duo. So obviously that's probably going to be the different settings for whatever you're trying to do, right? Then it has a 1, 2, 3. That's also going to be for different things. Then it has a place to plug it in. So yeah, with that looks actually pretty nice. Now, like I said, this is an indoor unit only. So I'm debating either. So I know obviously here, this is my old shop that I'm going to be getting rid of, right? Because we're building the new shop. That's also going to be a temporary new shop, just like this was temporary, right? And then eventually that will be a wood storage area after I build the nice new shop, right? But I'm kind of waiting on stuff before I can do that, like a sawmill, right? So, okay, so actually looking over the book, right, you actually want to have the speakers. So this is going to be your speakers, right? This is where all the noise comes from. You want to have that pointed towards wherever you want to keep activity out, right? So I was actually thinking too, I might put this over into mom and dad's shed room and have this pointed towards the door to be able to keep out any critters that they might be having inside their shed room. So that might be another option too, instead of actually here in this shop, because this thing's filled full of holes. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming in and out of this thing regardless. So it would be nice to keep stuff out of this shop, but I don't think it's going to happen, not until I get to the new shop location. Might have to get an outdoor unit for this one, but I think we might have to go over to mom and dad's shed room to get this done. But it has the slide 4 function switch. Choose a working mode and slide intensity switch to adjust the intensity of the ultrasound, the sound in the trans mode. It says the red LED remains indicated. It lets you know what's going on. Green blinks to indicate the stable ultrasound, the clear sounding obstructing ultrasound, and the pressure wave travels. So you don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff like in front of it, right? Because it is sound after all. So the different modes, you have a test, a ultra, a trans, and a duo. So your test mode, the red light remains and the unit will buzz greatly to let you know it's armed and ready for use. The ultra mode, red light remains. The frequency of ultrasound will change automatically between 22 to 33 kilohertz, and the variable ultrasonic sound will be emitted from the 2 speakers. And then in your trans mode, the green light will blink. Frequency is stable between 23.5 to 24.5 kilohertz. And then it says, please adjust the intensity by the intensity switch on the right side, grading a 1, a 2, or a 3, indicating intensity increases, or indicates intensity increasing. The stable ultrasonic sound will be emitted from the transmitter. And then in your duo mode, the ultra mode and trans mode work at the same time. Your variable frequency of ultrasound is designated or designed to ensure rodents will never get accustomed to a certain frequency. Thus, the rodent's repellent can have effect all the time. So it will be constantly switching. The biggest thing in here is being able to figure out where I want to plug it in at. So let me go get an extension cord quick. We'll get this thing plugged in over here because it's the only plug that was available that we have in their room. And then we'll head it facing towards the door, and then it'll be good to go. Now they're all set up for Christmas with red and green. So I have it underneath the bed. That way it can point that way. And then also it's pointing towards the door, because this would be the primary entry for any pests that we don't want in this room. So if you're having issues in your home or your buildings or anything that you have indoors that you would like to get rid of mice and or rats, check out the link below. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to X-pest once again for reaching out to us. And all right, let's get back to the shop build. All right, so when I put this log over here, I wasn't able to get it all the way up onto this skid here. And for one, it's too big for me to pick up. and move around. So I'm gonna try to use mechanical advantage. See if I can't get this thing up and off the ground. Be a lot easier if I had a small strap, but I'm gonna try this first because it's what I have available. 6.5. Give me 1 inch. 6.5. This one, 12 3/4. That's a difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4. 5 1/4 difference. If I went down. Which I'm gonna do. Okay. New marks. My center line. 1, 2, 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5. 2, 3.5. 2, 3.5. So this one I'm gonna go down 2 inches. That one's 4 inches. That one down there is 1 inch. Kind of help with the taper of the log. Is it right? Is it perfect? Nope. But what's perfection? Perfection is in the eye of the beholder. So I can always run a string line. So whenever I'm doing this, I'm just eyeballing of what I think the very center is right here. And I can always run a string down this and it would tell me. But believe it or not, your eyes can actually see something within like up to 1/16 of an inch, believe it or not. So here's a little test, something that you can do. Yeah, see, that actually worked out really good. Is take a popsicle stick. You know, start small. Take a popsicle stick. Set it down in front of you, right? You got a popsicle stick. And then with a pencil, put a mark of what you think half is. Put a mark on it and then measure it. See how close you are. See how close your eyes are to be able to look at something and see what half is. And matter of fact, I think there's actually a German game show that actually did that, to where you had to cut something exactly in half and then both things get measured to see who's the most accurate. Yeah. So your eyes, you can train your eyes to be able to see what half is. But like I said, this is not going to be, I'm not going for perfect. I'm going for, this needs to be good enough. But as I also said, perfection is in the eye of the beholder. So if I'm doing this way and I think it's perfect for me, well, it's perfect for me. So now I'm going to rough this out, which I'm going to make these first cuts here with my chainsaw to get it to come down to match these lines. And then I'm going to come in and just try to knock this out with a chisel and get this, you know, fairly flat. Now this is actually a little bit bigger than what my log is, okay? And actually what I want to do, once I get these portions here flattened out, I'm going to come back in here and I want to measure, because I want to be able to cut a slot into this. And then on my logs, I'm going to cut a tenon. So what's going to be easier for me is a lot of this I can cut out with my chainsaw. Okay, and it's, if you have better tools or you have the correct tools for doing stuff like this, then by all means use those, right? But I'm gonna do what's easy for me right now with what I have on hand right now. So I'm gonna make a flat, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut all the way through the log a tenon. Okay, and then on my post, right, because this is the bottom, down here's the top, okay, and I'm gonna have that log to where I'm just able to cut out, you know, the whole thing, and really simple. I can just make one cut with my chainsaw on one side, make the cut on the other side, and then knock those pieces off with my chisel, and then boom, it's done, and it'll be able to slip in, right? And then I'm gonna drill a hole through here, and then actually bolt these together. I'm not going to use wooden dowels. I'm actually going to be bolting them, but I'm going to have to get that hardware. I'm going to look and see if Dad has any more of the same bolts that we used on the chicken coop. I know that we still have some of the long ones. I might have to use that on that other side, but this one's a little smaller, so that smaller bolt would work just fine. Same thing in the middle. So, but the other side is a little bit bigger, so I have to use that bigger bolt. But yeah, I think that's going to work out great for that. Come on. Yes, that's a lot to chomp all at once, especially being oak. Let me put a couple of cuts in there. Alright, let's see how that does. And I went ahead and did the same thing to all of them down the line. Oh yeah, that comes up a little easier. Still waiting on my bigger chisel. So I gotta make do with what I got on hand. Even if you only got a 3/8 inch chisel, hey, it'll work. Just gonna take you longer, that's all. Ain't nothing but a thing. Plus I got this nice big gnarly knot right there. This is where having that big old timber slick comes in handy, because it just lays flat across here and you can get all that wood out. Like I said, you can do it with these smaller chisels. It just takes a little bit longer, that's all. Oh, that still does. Doesn't want to play. Plus, this is oak. This is quite hard timber, because I knew for the majority I was just going to be doing what I'm doing now, is hitting it with a hammer, or a mallet I should say. Alright, sorry about that. GoPro battery died, but I got this one cut out. So all that's left to do is get those planed down smooth. Get this marked out. That way I can put the notch in there. Get the notch on the other side, which sun's already getting low in the day. So yeah, but I got that one done. Got this one done. And I went and looked to see where my scrub plane is, and it's completely buried. So I think what I'm going to do is, I have the electric hand plane and I have the generator, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the electric one and get those shaved down, get them nice and smooth. Then I'll measure out, because I want to do probably a 2-inch mortise. And then, so for this one, this is number 1, 2, 3, and I went ahead and marked out. So this first post here that I still have the skin, that's going to be number 2, and then this is number 1, and then this one is number 3. So that goes on the left side of the building, right side of the building, and in the middle of the building. All right, and then once I get, so, and those aren't going to be cut the length just yet. I'll cut them at 14, but I will get them put into here first. Right, so I'll get the, because I'm going to see how far this is, right, from here to here. That's how long I'm going to make the tenon. All right, and then from the top up here to my leg, I want to be 14 feet. Right, so from the top of my log to the bottom of my post is going to be 14 feet. And then we're going 2 feet into the ground, so it's going to leave me 12 feet above. And then I still got to put, you know, probably timbers that size will be the roof rafters on the top, and then purlins, and then metal. Right, so yeah, but I also got posts and stuff in the back and all those things, but all that's going to get notched in to the posts, so the cross beam's going across, because I'm basically going to do this exact same thing in the back, but I don't have another tree that's 30 feet long. So I'm probably gonna have to do 2 15-footers and then just half lap them on that center post in the back, or even do more posts in the back. Just all gonna determine of what logs I have, because obviously I still have more over there on the other side of the pond that I can skid around, right? And then there's still some logs up in the front of the property that I can always skid around. But yeah, that's what we're doing so far. Getting there. I mean, obviously the electric planer doesn't get all the way up against the edge, but it does give me a somewhat decent, I mean, some of these cuts I just went way too far with the chainsaw, but that's fine. It still gives me a decent enough, like, I'll still come back in here with the chisel and clean this up even a little more, but I am close to my line. Like I still have a little bit here, and then a little bit on this side. Actually, a lot of bit on this side, and then kind of the same thing in the middle, right? I was only able to really do just the very center, but it gets me down to my line, so it gives me that reference that I can come from this plane and start, you know, getting this side off and getting this side off with the chisel. I just have to come in from this side and come in from the other side, but it gives me now that reference plane to utilize there. And then this side, kind of the same thing. But I mean, obviously I was able to get to a lot more of this because the ejection port, right, is able to go actually over this. For the most part, it still only came to roughly here. So, but anyway, down to my line. So it gives me that nice reference plane once again. But as you can see, sun's getting low in the sky. So I'm gonna wrap this one up for today, and we'll be back in the morning to continue working on this. All right, we'll just go ahead and jump right in to this. So what's been going on with it? I burned up my drill, my big boy drill, trying to drill holes into this for the notches, because I wanted to be able to drill and then kind of come back through and cut with the chainsaw out those notches. I might even do a handsaw. I'll just see how I feel. Obviously, if my shoulders and back is doing okay. I like using hand tools, so I don't mind doing that. But anyway, let's get you flipped around and I'll show you what I'm talking about. That's coming through and drilling a couple holes. One of them I got almost all the way through. I don't know if you can see the light coming through the bottom. Yeah, kind of. And then this one, I did not get all the way through, but I'm still gonna try to go through and do that by hand. But let me get you flipped over to the other side of the log and show you what I'm doing. And the reason why I came over to this side, because I was getting a little aggravated with that side, because in burning up the drill, I was in that left-hand hole and I only went through about halfway. And I was like, well, let me see if I can do this by hand. So I went ahead and started drilling the other hole, and I got it just about all the way through the log doing it by hand. I was like, okay, well, this is feasible. Well, in doing that, it was putting chips into the left-hand side, which I don't know why I didn't just continue on the left-hand side, seeing if I could do it by hand. But anyway, it put some of the chips down into that hole, and now the drill bit by hand doesn't want to continue going because the little screw that's on there. So, but let me get you. So I went ahead and came over to this other side to get this knocked out, and then I'll go mess with that side again. But let me show you what I'm having to do now. All right, so I still got the same drill bit, the auger drill bit, and then I have a wrench that I've welded on a 1/2 inch rod to that. That's actually for blacksmithing work. I use this as my twisting wrench. Well, it just so happens that I need to twist this drill bit into the wood, and I'm able to pull and push at the same time. And if this gets to be too much going through, then I have a bar down here that I can give myself a little bit of leverage, kind of pushing on one side, pulling, or even try to go around. And then if that gets to be a little too much, I have another bar down here I put on and then twist. And this would go a lot better if I had 2 people, but right now Dad's getting a tooth pulled. He had a molar break on him, so now he's going to get that taken care of. So, yeah, it is what it is. Use with what you got. But still getting it done. Still getting it done. At least I'm not hearing any booms today. I guess that's been a long time going conspiracy theory. People hearing booms, don't know where booms are coming from. People start talking about booms and forces that be tell them to stop talking about it. I don't know. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Is it skyquakes, earthquakes, invisible lightning? Yeah, I've heard that one. I know they're building the Interstate 40 coming through here. It's going to be close coming through here, and they have to clear out a mountain area. They don't go over the mountain, they're going to go through it, right? And I thought, oh, maybe people are blasting, you know, get ready for that. Nope, nothing to do with that. It's aliens, I tell you. It's aliens. probably a lot easier too if the drill bit was straight. But this is one that got stuck in the stump whenever I drilled holes for burning out the stump over by where the gathering house is. That's when I was first laying out foundations of when we were going to build a house, back before we decided to buy one instead. If you guys are new here, thank you for following in on our journey, helping us build this shop. But not the only thing we got going on, right? We're buying a home. Again, it should be here as I'm recording this. It should be here tomorrow. All right. Pretty exciting. Well, we got a playlist if you want to go check it out. Gathering house. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, ask me, what's a gathering house? Well, I mean, typically when people say gathering house, they think it to be like a church, right? Where people go to gather, right? Church thing. But nope, it has nothing to do with church. For us, it's just, yes, a place where people can gather. Friends, family, and you know, just if anyone comes to stay tonight, you know, they have a place to stay. But it won't be a gathering house until after cabins are built. Mom and Dad's cabin, Mom and Grandma's cabin, and our home up on top of the ridge, right? At that point is when it will become the gathering house. So right now it's just the Ivy household 1.0. Or I guess 1.5, since the RV right now is 1.0. Or I guess we could call it 2.0. And then our house on the ridge will be 3.0. Oh, I got the screw sticking out the bottom. Okay. That's good. I gotta bring it back out. All right, so I got both of these holes done. Good enough for government work. Anyway, I just come in here and slice this out. Right, and we'll get it all cleaned up the best we can. So let's head back over to the other side. See if I can't get that restarted. Makes it a little more difficult because I have those chips from that hole on the right hand side going into the hole on the left hand side. So let's get you up here on a stand and see if we can't get this knocked out. Oh. down into the hard stuff, so it will grab. A little bit, because all that sawdust that's in there keeps wanting, every time you turn it, keeps wanting to lift this up, so hit it back down until you can get all that dust and chips and all that that's in there to get cleaned out. And once it starts, that screw starts in to new wood, hardwood that hasn't been drilled yet, then it takes over, and now we're drilling into fresh wood. So I think after I make these notches here, by cutting these out, I'm just going to put these logs up on the ends like this, because I have not made any other horses yet. Because right now the only lumber that I have is actually Dad's. So I don't want to just go wasting it. You know, if he has, I mean, I can ask him, I guess, to see, hey, do you mind if I use that to make a few sawhorses? I mean, I always have just off-cut timbers that I can always just make a janky one, I guess. Get it, you know, just thrown together. But I think if I just put it up onto the log like this, I can still work this face. And because all of these logs have somewhat of a bow to them, and I want the bow facing out. So if I put it like this, the reasons why I think this will work out just fine. So as you can see, the bow of this log is facing down to the ground, because with it having, you know, up on this log, if I let go of it, it just keeps going down to the same spot, right? And I would be cutting it to where my notch is going, you know, in the direction needed. So it's going to go this way, not that way. So this way. And if this is rolled exactly where it needs to be, to where that is going to be facing outwards, then all I need to do is make me a level line here, and then be able to create my tenon. And then once I'm done cutting, because right now this log is level, so I don't want to rotate it yet. But once I have all of these mortises cut out, then I can just rotate my log needed to where I can just slip this in, and then from there that other side will be on the ground, and then I can go ahead and just drill and bolt it together. And I think that'll work out just fine for me. So no need to be wasting materials making other sawhorses if I really don't need it. So I think that's gonna be the game plan moving forward. But right now it's getting long in the tooth of a day. The sun's starting to set. I've been taking care of some other things off camera, just getting ready for this house delivery tomorrow. So yeah, just some last minute things. And then we also had the electrical company come in and cut down some trees and stuff that I showed you earlier. So that log I'm still going to have to process and get it over here. That way we can use it for the back wall. And the reason why I'm going to go ahead and end this project here, or this video for this project here, is we've been actually pretty busy making trips up into the city, trying to close on the gathering house. So if you have not been following that journey and you're new here, well, for one, we thank you for being here and helping us grow, supporting the channel, and just watching all this stuff. But we also have other things going on, not just the shop build, right? So we have a house that's going to be coming in, and we've went and closed on that, and have been getting all the deliveries and all that stuff scheduled, and then getting the electrical type stuff done. So they actually came in and have cleared out the trees that we need cleared out, basically making that easement. That way they can come set the pole, set the transformer, and then get our power pole connected. So let's go ahead and I'll go show you that quick, and then show you what log I'm going to be using for the back wall. So that big cedar tree gone, it's all down. And then the other little trees that was here on the other side of Mom's food truck is also down. So got these little logs that I can utilize, and this is all hardwood. We weren't going to take these down, but since we had to move the power pole, so I don't know if you can see this little white stake right here is where it's going. So you need to maintain 15 feet on the other side. It has to be 20 feet away from the house, so that's why it went there instead of where I originally was going to put it. But this tree right here I'm able to use for that back wall. So we're going to come up and clear it out. I'll go ahead and get all the bark off of it best I can, right? It's cold out here, so I'll come over here with the spud and see how easy it's going to be, because that looks like some pretty thick bark on that. So we'll see how well that comes off, and then get these limbs and stuff off there. I'll mark me out a 30-foot section. We'll get it cut, and then we'll get it dragged over there. But this does have a slight bow to it. It's not perfectly straight, but that's fine, because the front wall, or that front log that I'm using, kind of the same thing. So not too bad, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. And obviously I'll try to start all the way down here, so I'll get me a section that's pretty close to what the other log is, which was I forgot, 8.5, 9 inch section. And then I'll measure this way, because you know I want both the logs to be close to the same size, and that'll just help with keeping the rafters on the top, you know, basically the same. So I think that's going to work out just fine. And why I still have the Ford tractor here, which I could always use the Jeep to skid if needed, but since I have the tractor here, I'll be able to utilize that to get that over there. But the soonest I'm able to get, we're going to be doing some maintenance and a couple of repairs to the car hauler, the 16-foot car hauler that we have. Once that is finished, then that Ford tractor is actually going to go back over to Butt Nugget Homestead. So thanks again, Brett, for allowing us to use that. That's Brett and Deborah over there. So we definitely thank y'all for allowing us to use that tractor once again. And yeah, that's what we got for you. So hopefully you guys are appreciating and liking this build thus far. I know it's a slow go. Right now it's cold. We got a little bit of a breeze coming through. Hopefully it's not picking up too bad in the camera. But yeah, it's cold. It just continues to get colder. So, but we definitely thank y'all. Like I said, once again, if you'd like to stick around a little bit longer, check out this video right here. And then we have the whole year's playlist over on this side. To be able to stick around a little bit longer. Icons at the top make it easy to subscribe both here and to the side channel. And then last but not least, get out there, thank a veteran every chance you get, not only on Veterans Day. And we'll see you on the next one. Later, y'all.